All right, welcome to our deal of the week. We got a great house this week. It's in arguably the coolest neighborhood in all of St. Pete. It's Historic Kenwood. It's on the west side of downtown. It's sort of part of the downtown corridor. Um, and this house really checks three of our four boxes. The box that it doesn't check, I think, could be a deal breaker for a lot of people. Um, but let's first remember that we are in a buyer's market, and let's go through the four rules real quick. The house has been on the market for 45 days. You're going to come in strong, under asking price, probably 5%. Send a reality check out to those sellers who think their house is worth more than it is. Number two, stick with established neighborhoods to the extent that your budget allows. We don't want to be pioneers in up and coming neighborhoods in this kind of market. Um, Number three, again, to the extent your budget allows, stick with low maintenance properties. So look for things like newer roof and AC. Insurance is an issue. We want those things to be in good shape so that you can get insurance. And then number four, look for broad appeal features. And I only say that because in case you need to sell in the next couple of years, say something happens and you have to sell before you otherwise wanted to, you want a house that will be easier to sell in a sort of flat market, which is kind of what we're in now. So let's get to this one. This is Historic Kenwood. It's a redone bungalow. And if you're not familiar with the Historic Kenwood neighborhood, it is on the west side of downtown. I'm just going to draw the box here. This is sort of maybe a little bit generous here, sort of the downtown corridor. It's probably really more like here is really what you would consider downtown. And here's Historic Kenwood. So it's really technically part of downtown. And I'm just going to zoom in here so you can kind of see a little bit more on the map that you're just a few blocks off of Central Avenue, which is right here. Get to it. This is Central right here. So you're just a few blocks off. In this area right here is filled with restaurants, bars, museums, antique shops and stuff. So it is very, very walkable. You're a little bit, far from downtown, but you're a short Uber or a bike ride to downtown. It's 24 blocks to the core of downtown. So let's get into the pictures on this one. As you can see, it is a really, really nice example of a 1920s style bungalow that's been sort of brought back to life. Historic Kenwood has the highest concentration of bungalows in the country. So you see a lot of these houses down there, and you can see sort of right from the beginning that this house has been redone, from top to bottom. Now, we're already outside, and there's something that I'm not crazy about, and this is unfortunately just the sort of the nature of what happens when houses get renovated is a lot of times outdoor stuff gets either overlooked or they run out of budget, or maybe the person doing the renovation just doesn't think it's worth it. This deck looks unfinished to me. It's not stained or anything. There are two posts here that I would have assumed they were going to do something with, maybe put some louvers here to give you privacy to the house next door. I don't know. Otherwise, there's no landscaping outside. Again, not the end of the world, but whoever buys this house probably going to end up putting a couple of bucks into the backyard to sort of finish things off. And this is a staged picture here, obviously. So you just see this post here for, I'm not sure what reason, to be honest with you. So a beautifully tiled front porch. Those are all new windows, impact windows. And, the floors in this house are this like sort of herringbone, hardwood. And, this is real craftsman stuff here. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful inside. And you get a feel for how kind of small the house is from this shot here. This is two stools next to each other. That's not very wide. This house is not very big. High-end appliances, custom cabinets. I mean, this is, interior-wise, it looks like they didn't leave out anything. I mean, they poured a lot of money into this house. I mean, gorgeous primary shower here. And even the second guest bath is really nice high-end stuff, and those herringbone wood floors all throughout. Artist rendering here. This is a neighborhood that you're allowed to put an accessory dwelling unit in. So yeah, the driveway runs along the side of the house, so you could build a garage there. I don't know if it doesn't have alley access. It would be more normal to be able to drive into your garage through the alley, but I don't think they have any pictures of that. And then they're just showing a little bit of a pool here. So it's something that you could do if you wanted to add some value. So what are the downsides of this house? I mean, let's take a look here. This is one of the downsides, and that is, for better or worse, in historic Kenwood, the bungalows there tended to be on the smaller side. And this is probably a number you haven't seen too much of. 683 a square foot. I mean, I've been looking at houses, people watching any of the other videos, under $300 a square foot that are 10 minutes from here, maybe even 5 minutes from here. You know, 280, 290 a square foot. And we're at 683 a square foot for just 1,025 square feet. You know, thankfully they got that second bath in there, because a lot of these houses were originally done as 2-1s. But you know, you're really buying location here, and they did, you know, basically rebuild this house. You know, new floors, new windows, new kitchen, new roof. You know, everything is essentially new here. So, you know, let me know what you think. This is for kind of a niche buyer. This is somebody who wants to be like, walk out their front door, walk 5 minutes, and they're kind of in the thick of it in the historic Kenwood downtown shopping, bar, restaurant district. So before you think this house is like way overpriced, consider that there are prices, you know, over $1 million in this neighborhood. This 683 a square foot. I mean, I'm going to say it's a little bit high, to be honest with you, but I bet this house would go under contract, you know, tomorrow at 650 or 645 or something like this. You know, this is not a flood zone. Historic Kenwood, they do show it as a moderate crime area, and some people get hung up on this because it is part of the downtown corridor. You know, you go another 6 or 8 blocks, you hit 34th Street. Let me see if I can show you on the map here. So here's the house, and here's 34th Street, and you get a lot of, like, you know, this is a lot of strip centers, and I mean, it's not great, it's not terrible, but it is a main road. And then there are some, you know, pockets in here that are probably less great than you might want. It's still part of downtown. You know, a 5 is about as high as I'd want to go on that, what's my crime score risk, but we are not in a flood zone here. As you can see, 1 out of 10. And pricing wise, they have been on the market a little while now. So, you know, we started, let's go back to the beginning. So they went on the market in April at 789, and here we are 7 months later, and we're down we're down 90,000 to 689. So, you know, I'm liking this house at around 650-ish. But does it check all of the boxes? It checks 3 out of the 4, to be honest with you. And the box that it doesn't check is, because I think the price is okay. I think this is eminently resellable because it's such a hot neighborhood. I think the problem that we run into here, and almost everything on it is new, but the problem that we might run into here is that I don't know if this is going to be a low maintenance house. Obviously, your fridge is not going to break. The roof is fine, but the bones of this house, remember, are still, where is it here? 1927. So we're almost 100 years old for the bones of this house, the frame of this house. So it's hard to say whether or not this is going to be a low maintenance house. It checks everything else out. Price is okay. I'd like to see another price drop in the 640, 645 range. You know, historic Kenwood, coolest neighborhood in town. It's got the broad appeal features in the sense that it is a 2-2 instead of a 2-1. And it's tucked into that neighborhood nice. And so the only thing that we really have to worry about here is whether the maintenance thing is going to be an issue or not. And that, that's something that you have to consider. So I think a pretty cool house. Historic Kenwood, $699,000 for just 1,025 square feet. Let me know what you think if this one's too expensive. And I know a lot of people are going to look at it and say that's crazy, but this is what it costs to live in Historic Kenwood. So make it relative to the neighborhood. So leave a comment, let me know. Also subscribe to the channel so you get notified of new deals of the week. My name is Steve Reynolds. I'm a realtor here in St. Pete. If you're looking to buy or sell in the Bay Area, give me a call, send me a text, send me an email. I'd love to help you out. And with that, I will see you next time.